The Nordschleife is here. Earlier than expected, it actually just dropped with update 5 and I'm taking you along to my first impressions. And what better car to do this in than this BMW M2. We're gonna take a look. Some of you may recognize this livery, by the way. And I'm gonna give the AI a little bit of head start. But I think let's get going and see what we can do and how the track is in Forza Motorsport. The BMW M2, by the way, a car that I've also driven quite a lot in Race Room Race Experience. Some of you may remember that. But yeah, it's a fun car. It's not all that fast, but I've tuned it up to A-Class and a little bit too optimistic. This, I think, is the NLS layout, but I'm not 100% sure. We're gonna find out, hopefully, maybe. And well, first, because we are driving the full circuit, we are going through the GP loop of the Nürburgring. But there's also just the Nordschleife as a variant, so where the GP loop is not in. But we are taking a look at the full variant, of course, so we can check out all that the Nordschleife has to offer with this full circuit. So if you don't know, I think this is the variant that's also driven in the 24 hours Nürburgring events. So yeah, definitely a very iconic track and something that I think a lot of people were looking forward to, including myself. And well, we're just gonna see how this all feels. Yeah, the BMW M2 I did upgrade to A-Class. I didn't put any power in. Basically was trying to do something similar to, well, what you may know from if you've seen that car driven by some other YouTubers in real life. This is the Bilstein car. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at Jimmy Broadbent, Super GT or Misha Jarudin, who are YouTubers who are, well, or were driving last year in this car in real life, and it was actually really cool to watch them. They have a couple of YouTube videos out on that. If you haven't seen that yet, definitely take a look. But we are now taking a look as we are driving on to the Nordschleife itself. And I'm purposely fully letting the AI just have a little bit of a run. We are gonna try to get them eventually, but of course we're gonna do that at the more difficult section. Overtaking is way easier on the GP loop than it is here on the Nordschleife. If you've driven it in any other game, like the previous Forza Motorsports, you know that this track is difficult. And that's not only because of it being so narrow, but it's also because of the curbs, which can be dangerous. There's a lot of elevation changes and, well, overall just a very tricky track, especially because if you do a little bit of a mistake, the barriers are really close. But it's still a track that's, well, very iconic, and it's used in a lot of racing, not all classes obviously, but still there's a lot of racing going on, both slower classes up to, I think, the GTs, so GT3 for example. Formula 1 doesn't race here anymore for obvious reasons. And we are going through one of the faster and dangerous sections here, going to Schwedenkreuz. I do know a couple of the corner names, yes, I do make a little bit of a mistake here. And actually lose the car, that's not great, oh boy. So yeah, this we might have to actually rewind this. Sorry for that. So that can happen if you are a little bit too aggressive at Schwedenkreuz. I seem to have lost it here somewhere. Sorry for the rewinding, but I think I'll have to. I remember someone saying don't lift at Schwedenkreuz. Maybe that's part of it, but yeah. You can probably tell I'm really excited about the Nordschleife. This is a difficult track, but so fun. I'm gonna slow down a little bit here and get a good run down Foxhole here. One of the coolest sections in my opinion because of this drop and then, well, this compression here at the bottom going up the hill then, where you have to slow down enough to not bump into the back of the AI. I haven't set them all too high. I think they are on 6 out of 8. And I think that might be why they are not that fast here. But I don't know how fast the AI actually can go on the Nordschleife. But we are now gonna try to overtake them as they still are doing stuff and, well, driving like I am not there. So apparently that's still a thing. Haven't driven against AI in a long time. Okay, he was still there apparently. That's aggressive. Well, let's try to focus up a bit. There's a little bit of a more technical section coming up here. And I'm still trying to give the AI a little bit of space, but they are not giving me that space. This is miss, hit, miss, and I'm just gonna do miss, miss, miss. And try to get back on track. I'm really struggling here for some reason. And I swear it's not the car, it's me. Mostly. But yeah, one of the slowest sections on the track here. So we find ourselves back in the very back of the field. But it's not about racing fast here. We're going through... well... this section coming up. Well, we're gonna have one more sharper corner and then a long stretch of full power, hopefully in this car. Should be. I'm gonna check it out. And we're gonna go up the hill quite a bit. And then, well, we're gonna see one of the most famous corners of this whole track, the carousel. But we're not there yet. So yeah, this stretch should be full power. As I already lived, because I'm afraid. So yeah, as I said, I didn't put any power in this car, just basically handling parts, so tires, suspension, what have you. This AI can't decide where he wants to go. And he is braking here, okay. This is bravery corner, or Mutkurve in German. And I'm not very brave. But yeah, just handling parts, but I didn't put any aero on the car. I basically wanted to do something quite similar to what the other YouTubers I was talking about did in real life with the car, or Bilstein did with the car. So yeah, kind of wanted to get as close as that as I could, and also managed to land exactly on the top of A-class. But we are now actually in the carousel. This is a corner that is... definitely did take too fast at the end there, but it's a tricky one for sure. And well, all the bumpiness there on the concrete is, yeah, is something very special and something I don't think you see anywhere else in the world. Might be wrong there. Maybe you can tell me if there's any other track that has that, but yeah, this track is special. Very, very special. And I've seen the comments on my last video where the Nordschleife was announced to be coming early, and I saw a lot of people being very happy about that. So it's gonna be interesting in multiplayer for sure. As you can see, overtaking here, it's a challenge. And the faster the cars are, the more dangerous and ridiculous it will be. Pretty sure. Can I get on this inside here? No, I can't. So probably shouldn't shift down as much. The gearing on this, the gears are kind of short. So just past YouTube corner. If you've ever seen any real life footage from, well, amateur footage from the side of the track, you've probably seen it from there, because there is an area where you can actually film. And well, there has been a lot of people spinning out there, because the Nordschleife is also a track where just ordinary people can drive. If you want to go there with your own car or with a rented car, which, well, mostly you are not allowed to do that for most rental companies, but there are some very specific ones at the Nordschleife itself. Whoa, he really did go slow there. Okay, I seem to have bumped him off the track. But yeah, anyone can drive the Nordschleife. I myself haven't been there yet. I would love to go at some point. Definitely something on my bucket list. But I would be a little bit afraid, especially in my own car, which is not nearly a race car. By the way, mini carousel here. But yeah, definitely something I would love to do. It's open to the public most of the time. So if you just pay the fee for a ticket, you can enter and, well, then drive your car or any other car for that matter around the Nordschleife. It's basically a public toll road. That's what it is. So that's kind of cool in my opinion, and that's also one of the reasons why this track is so known all over the world, I think. But we are already coming up to the end. It was, even though this lap was kind of long, it went by so fast, and I think it's really cool. Haven't really noticed any improvements on the old version from Forza Motorsport 7, but also haven't noticed anything that's out of place, I would say. So overall, I feel like from first impression, a very good representation of the track. And yeah, we're coming already up to the end here. After this, I'm also gonna show you what else is in this update 5, so in terms of cars and other stuff like events. But yeah, first impressions of the Nordschleife, pretty damn good. This was fun. I know the racing wasn't all that crazy, but I was just trying to take it easy and take a look at the track. And well, I hope that you also were able to see what the track is like, and definitely let me know what your experience is and what you think of the track and the representation here in Forza Motorsport. As I said, I think it's very good, and I think it will be, well, interesting in terms of online racing, but it's just cool that it is in the game, and I look forward to just hot lapping this track in different cars, because that's what manufacturers also do. In real life, they test their cars on this track for the reasons that I've outlined. So yeah, really amazing. I will see you in a moment and tell you all about everything else that is in update 5. So I'm gonna leave the replay running of the race that we just did, so we actually have something cool to look at, while I tell you what else is in update 5. If you are interested in more details, I will link the article on Forza.net in the description and you can take a look for yourself, but just some highlights that I want to share with you. So, of course, the Nordschleife is here, as I said in the beginning, both this full variant that we just drove and the standalone circuit, which is nice. There are, of course, new career events, which normally I wouldn't be all that interested in. This time it's the feature tour in the German manufacturers, so BMW, Audi, Mercedes and Porsche. And open tour is also for German automotive. What's interesting this time are the rewards for these two tours. So for the open tour, there is the 1974 Porsche 911 RSR, already an interesting car. But for the feature tour, there is the 2022 Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS. So the newest Cayman as far as I'm aware. So that's really great in my opinion, and something that I would definitely check out. While in the last couple of weeks I haven't been doing single player at all, this might get me back into that. Even though, as you just saw, AI still has some problems which make single player not all that fun, but still. With those reward cars, I might check it out because, well, they are definitely interesting, at least to me. Let me know what you think, if you would like those. We then have some spotlight cars, so those will be available at a discounted credit price. The first one is very interesting to me once again. You're seeing me right now driving the 2020 BMW M2. The first car that is in the spotlight ones is the 2023 BMW M2, so the actual newest one. So that's kind of interesting and cool to me. And then there are some returning cars, so the 2013 Audi RS7 Sportback, the 2011 Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, and the 2014 Porsche 911 Turbo S. But yeah, the first one, the BMW M2, the newest one, pretty cool to me. In terms of car pass cars, some interesting ones, some not so interesting to me. It's the 1965 Lotus Type 35, the 2015 Cadillac Racing ATS VR, the 2018 Ford TA Mustang, so another Trans Am car, and the 2020 Audi TT RS Coupe. So yeah, some interesting cars, as I said. We'll be able to see which ones we can then check out in multiplayer maybe. But yeah, that's that. We then of course have also some new spec series in multiplayer. There is Grand Prix Rivals, and then the Mustang Shelby GT500 spec series, the GTX Sports Car Spec Series, and lastly the Forza Proto H Series. So some interesting spec series to check out if you're not interested in racing GT and touring all the time. Well, there are of course once again open class series in multiplayer as well, with 2 classes as in the last month. And well, that's basically it. There's also then again the Spotlight series for the Spotlight cars that I just told you. There are new Rivals events as always, and of course they also feature the Nordschleife, which is cool. And that's basically it for content, new content in update 5. What is also nice to see though is the bug fixes and improvements. They did do a couple more fixes for stability issues, especially with game crashes, both in single and in multiplayer. For example, the crash when going into the fuel and tires menu in multiplayer is apparently now fixed. We'll have to wait and see if that's actually the case, but that would be really important in my opinion. There are also some other fixes. Once again, if you want the details, you can read up online. I will link the article for you. I'm not gonna go through everything that's in this post because there are quite a lot of fixes actually. One that's also interesting to me is the pop-up that do you like this design or do you like this tune? I've never had that in this game. Those apparently will now show up, so nice to see for creators of tunes and liveries that they get some recognition for that. Well, and then there are some stability fixes for PC, which I'm not sure if those are actually helping. I really haven't noticed it yet. The race ran fine, but the replay here has some problems. Definitely FPS drops here. Also, I don't know if replays are fixed. I haven't found anything on that. There is some weird wording in terms of short replays. Not quite sure. We'll have to test that out. If I can, then I will update you in the comments down below if the replays are now fixed. I can take a look at this one at least. I didn't save it though. I just did take a look, and this is a free play single player replay. I think those always worked, but multiplayer, I'm not quite sure. We'll have to test that out. But yeah, as I said, some stability and FPS fixes apparently for PC, which is nice. And then one that I also haven't tested yet, but hopefully is working, the custom wheel input layouts, not saving between sessions. So I always had to, after a game restart, load the profile once again because it reset to the default one. That apparently is now finally fixed. I hope so. Would be really a savior on my sanity. But yeah, that's the main things that I wanted to talk about. So overall, I'm really happy with this update so far. We will have to see how it develops and if like everything is working as they advertise it to be with the fixes and everything, and if there are maybe new bugs introduced, you never know. But in terms of the content, especially the Nordschleife, I am really happy about this one, and I'm looking forward to driving this more, though I'm a little bit scared about multiplayer. But we will have to see and what classes this will be available in. So let me know, are you excited for this one, and what are your experiences if you have already tested the Nordschleife? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to do so, and yeah, that will always help me out. Leave a like on the video, and with that I will leave you. Thanks a lot for watching. I've been HD Racing. See you in the next one.